Hi, I'm Nick.
I'm Luke, and today we're here in beautiful Palos Verdes, California, and we're gonna go look for mollusks. All right, guys. Now, our next guy is a little mussel right here. He's in the genus Bivalvia, phylum Mollusca. And they're closely as Bivalvia, they're closely related to clams, oysters, and other mollusks with two shells that close onto each other.
So the way mussels are able to attach to the rocks like this is by using their byssus, which is basically a cluster of small, really strong threads.
And mussel's anatomy is very similar to all of their bivalves, besides the byssus. They are filter feeders, so they basically suck in water, and they filter out all the plankton and food and stuff in it when the tide is high enough, because they spend almost half their time out of the water. And they have a large foot, like clams, and like gastropods, except it's modified to stay inside of the shell. Okay, now on to reproduction. Mussels reproduce sexually. The males broadcast spawn by releasing their sperm into the water, which is then taken up by the female's in-current siphon. And then their eggs are released from the female, and they grow, they swim around, and then they drop to the bottom, and they become all attached to rocks. And the habitat of mussels is they live in shore areas along the coast, and they frequently attach to rocks and other things like pier pilings, jetties, and they just grow them. Yeah. If you break a mussel off, we're not breaking it off though. So if you break a mussel off its rock, or even rip it off too much, it will die because the byssus doesn't regrow. And if they're not attached to anything, then the mussel is basically doomed.
Yeah.
It's a very small chance it can survive.
That's the only reason why I'm not picking this thing up. You would if it would have survived.
All right, now an interesting fact about mussels. Mussels have been used as food for over 30,000 years. They're a very important food source all over the world, by all cultures.
Yeah, this thing right here, we eat those things.
We eat them.
Yeah.
That's correct. We've been eating them for 30,000 years as humans.
Yep.
All right, now we're going to move on to the chitin. The chitin is a mollusk in the genus Polyplacophora, and it's closely related to all other mollusks because it is in the genus Mollusca. The chitin's body plan is very well adapted to its life in the surf. Looking at a chitin's ventral side isn't easy because it's always showing towards the ground, and as it locks to the rock with its powerful foot, the frontal end of the animal, its mouth opening, is visible. Like other mollusks, the chitin's sturdy backside is referred to as the mantle. Contrary to snails, for example, though, chitins have no mantle cavity containing gills. Instead, there's a groove running almost all around the animal in between the mantle and the foot, containing numerous mollusk-type gills, or catanida. As was already mentioned, chitins, as well as other mollusks, possess a radula, which enables them to grind down their food. Below it is a so-called subradular organ, a chemical sense organ which gives the chitin information about suitable food in the vicinity. By far, most chitins are herbivores that live on algae they rasp from rocks, and also from mussels in their vicinity. By doing so, they cling hard to the ground with their powerful foot, supported by the sturdy girdle. Chitins' light sense organs, or eyes, they can barely be referred to as eyes. All they can do is sense light and shadow in a very basic picture of what is above them.
So I've successfully ripped off this chitin from its rock. As you can see, this is the bottom of it. This one's probably a mossy chitin. They're really common in these parts of California. So the reproduction of chitins. Chitins are dioecious, which means they're both male and female. And they're also broadcast spawners. So they broadcast their sperm into the water for females to catch onto and reproduce with.
All right, so now we're talking about chitin feeding behaviors. Chitins are almost all of them are herbivores. So they only eat algae, basically. As we said earlier, usually rasp that algae off of rocks and sometimes off of mussel shells. And a chitin habitat, most chitins live in this area, so in rocky coastlines and tide pools and stuff. And they're pretty sedentary. They don't move around very much. And what they do though is they use their radula, which is their rasping tongue, to dig out a little scar in the rocks, like as we see here, like this, and then right there. There's a chitin scar right there. This is where this chitin came from. It was right there.
So a fun fact about chitins is that They can roll up into a ball when they feel threatened. See, this one's like kind of rolling up into a ball right now because he sees us as a threat. All right, let's put this guy back into its home scar right here. Oh shit, hopefully it'll latch onto that part again.
We're very respectful of animals.
Yeah.
Our production.
All right, let's see what Luke found over there.
We got a squid right here. You want? Fuck. Looks like a Humboldt. Yeah, looks like a Humboldt squid of some sort. Still going. Still got its tentacles and everything attached to it. It's got suckers on those tentacles. Let's pull it up over here.
Okay, the Humboldt squid is
this?
part of the kingdom Animalia, the phylum Mollusca, and the class Cephalopoda. It is the only species of squid in the genus Delcidus, and is closely related to other cephalopoda like octopuses and nautiluses.
Okay, we're talking about the anatomy of the squid. This is a Humboldt squid, as we said before. Unlike all mollusks, Humboldt squids have soft bodies and muscular feet. And the muscular feet have been modified in the Humboldt squid to become arms or tentacles attached to the squid's head, making it a cephalopod. This squid has 8 arms and 2 tentacles, like all other squids. And the adult Humboldt squids can reach up to 6 feet long and weigh 110 pounds. This isn't an adult, though, as you can see, it's like 30 inches long, 2.5 feet.
It's pretty small.
And they're able to rapidly flash red and white while hunting to like stun their prey. And they only live for 1 or 2 years.
During spawning season, male adult squids change body coloration and use movements to attract females and display red flashes to ward off rival males. The male squids use their 5th arm to grab the female to insert spermatophores, which are narrow tubes filled with sperm. Females lay as many as 20 million eggs, the most of any known cephalopod. After they hatch, Humboldt squid grow from about 1 millimeter to well over a meter in just 1 year. After they hatch, they're left to fend for themselves and have to learn to hunt quick in order to survive.
Alright, now on to Humboldt squid feeding behaviors. Humboldt squid usually eat small fish, crustaceans, and other cephalopods. And they're also known to attack larger prey in groups. The squid uses its barbed tentacle suckers, that's these right here, in order to grab and slice its prey. And also it uses its beak to get on the sea. Right in there, that's where the squid's beak is. Right in there, in that little hole. Humboldt squid is found throughout the eastern Pacific Ocean, ranging from California to South America. It's usually found at depths from 660 to 2,300 feet. The squid migrates north in the spring and summer, going up to Washington and sometimes as far as Alaska, because that's pretty far.
An interesting fact about these guys is that they're extremely aggressive and they're known to attack people. So, yeah, they're dangerous around us, and you shouldn't touch them.
This one's pretty nice though, alright. We're gonna let this squid grow. Alright. Go home, little buddy. Be free.
So I hope you liked our educational video on mollusks.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun filming this project, and that squid, that was a great find that we found out there. Never seen one of those before. And thanks guys for watching our video.